Everyone welcome Charles McCaffrey, a Navy vet.
So I'm lucky. I managed to make it through my Navy career without any significant physical injuries. Sure, I've got some hearing loss from being around ship's machinery, but I typically just use that as an excuse to ignore people. Sorry, boss, didn't hear you. Wounded warrior, thank me for my service. All right? So I'm getting my last physical before I leave the military, and everything's going fine. They tell me I'm in great shape. With that awkward caveat of for a guy my age, I'm not sure what that means. So when they asked me, are there any issues you want documented before you leave the military, I really just should have kept my mouth shut. Right? You know what Navy stands for, right? N-A-V-Y, never again volunteer yourself, right? Never volunteer information to the military. But instead I said, lately when I'm on the elliptical or the treadmill in the gym, it feels like my feet fall asleep even though they've been moving the whole time. And the doctor looks at me gravely and says, that sounds like a serious circulation issue. We should run some tests. Now, I had planned on spending the last couple of weeks in the military on the beach, not getting poked and prodded by doctors. So first they do an ultrasound, and it comes back negative for clots. So they decide, let's bring out the big guns, a CT scan. Now, at the time, I'm stationed in Pearl Harbor, so they send me to Tripler Army Medical Center, affectionately known as Crippler, which is this bright pink behemoth of a hospital overlooking Honolulu. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever had a CT scan, but it's an unnerving experience, right? So first, you can't eat for 24 hours. Then you have to drink 2 gallons of this chemical contrast. And then when you go in, you strip down completely and you wear this very unflattering paper gown. Now, it's a good thing I have a nice ass because everybody got to see it as I walked from the changing room on one end of the ward to the exam room on the far end of the ward. And when you go into the exam room, they make you lay on this gantry that's part of the scanner, and they stick this long needle into your arm, and that activates the chemical contrast, and you feel your body temperature rise, and it tastes like you've been sucking on pennies. You have this metallic taste in your mouth. And then the technicians leave the exam room because they're going to bombard you with x-rays, right? That'll eventually give this 3D image of your insides. Now, on this particular day, it's on-the-job training day for the new junior tech. And there's a crack under the door between the exam room and the control room, so I can hear everything that they say. And the exchange goes something like this. Sir, we're about to begin the scan, so please lie still so we can get an accurate reading. While under the door I hear, all right, let's shake and bake them. Yeah. So in I go, scan, and back out. And it's quiet for a while, and then I hear the junior tech say, that's weird. What? Says the senior tech. I don't see anything. I know. Shouldn't there be something there? That's weird. Let's run them through again. Over the intercom, sir, you must have moved. We're going to have to run you through again. I know, I say out loud, I can hear everything under the door. Shit, you got to watch that. Sir, please be quiet, lie still. So back in I go, scan again, back out. Yeah, we need to get the doctor. Sir, stand by. I know, I can still hear you. So half an hour later, the doctor finally strolls in. He says, hey, what's up, guys? You leave somebody in the microwave too long? Dick. So the senior tech says, yeah, we've run them through twice, and this is what we've gotten both times. That's weird. So he walks into the exam room and he sits down on the gantry. And by this point, I'm staring up at the ceiling. It's covered in those little round asbestos balls. They've got a knitting needle stuck in my arm. My body temperature has dropped, so now I'm laying in a pool of cold sweat, stuck to the vinyl, wearing a paper dress. And he asks, "How you doing?" "Take a guess," I respond. He says, "We're getting some weird images, so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions." Okay. So now I'm cold, wet, irritated, and concerned. And he starts, "Have you ever had any surgeries?" "Oh, sure. I had surgery on my ears when I was 7. "No, that's not going to do it." Is it possible you had surgery, but you just don't remember it?" "What?" "Have you ever woken up in a bathtub full of ice in a hotel in Tijuana?" "What?" "Well, let me ask you, how many kidneys do you think you have?" "3, I say. 2 of us can play the dumbass game." "No," he says, "you only have 1 kidney," as if having 3 was crazy. Now, I've since found out that being born with only 1 kidney is not that uncommon. There's actually a support group called "Has Anyone Seen My Other Kidney?" And you can go your life without knowing about this unless that kidney fails, or apparently if you get a CT scan at Crippler. So they run some more tests, and I'm fine for a guy my age. And Dr. Kevorkian tells me, "Hey, you can't donate a kidney." That's why he's an Army doctor. He says there's a couple other things, some do's and don'ts that come with only having 1 good kidney. He says, watch your salt intake, and that's fine, no problem. He says, take aspirin, not ibuprofen. Again, that's fine. And he says, don't drink alcohol. Yeah, I'm a dead man. So you've been a great audience. Let's get the real stars to show up here. Thank you.